Good Friday afternoon. We begin with the huge change for the Portland Timbers. After 5 years, Caleb Porter out as head coach. Fans seem stunned as they try to figure out what's behind the move. Porter had great success here, a conference title last year, the MLS Cup in 2015, and he was Coach of the Year back in 2013.
So what is going on? Joining us now is KGW sports analyst and Oregonian columnist. You know him, you love him. John Canzano is here with us this afternoon. And John, I guess people want to know what happened. Did he quit? Was he fired?
Well, the storyline is that this was a mutual parting of ways, but we all know that's never true. A breakup is never a mutual breakup. This, to me, smacks of a power struggle. You've got three really powerful, influential, demanding people at the top of this franchise, and Caleb Porter's one of them, Merritt Paulson another, and Gavin Wilkinson, the former coach who's now the GM, is another. And the three of them, even when things are going right, are at odds at times. And you know, they joined me last year. You mentioned the parade and the championship.
It was amazing.
They got off that championship parade thing, and I spent about 45 minutes with the three of them afterwards. And they talked about how much more they argue and fight, even when there's success, than when they're failing. They're a little gentler with each other when they're failing. So I think it's a power struggle. It's a miracle that the five-year period ended this way. You know, maybe it should have ended a little sooner with the personalities involved. But I think they're all going to say the right things. But there is much more to this story. You're right.
Speaking of saying the right things, let's take a look at Porter's statement he put out this morning. He said, in part, "I will never forget and cannot ever repay the fans, especially the Timbers Army." He went on, John, to thank the team management and says taking the job was one of the best decisions of his life. Can't express gratitude for what it has meant to him. So he being very gracious as all this unfolds.
Yeah, in the prior coach, John Spencer, signed a non-disclosure with the team when he parted ways. So I wonder how much of that is playing. And there's really no point at this stage for any of them to torch each other, but clearly this was a Porter 2 weeks ago was talking about, hey, we're moving in the right direction, we can win, I'm excited about next year, and now he's out. So it tells me that something just happened in the last few days that he said, look, I can't coexist here. He will get a job. Caleb Porter will get a job.
Yeah, like in a minute,
yeah,
right?
He will get a job.
Or may already have one.
He may, and the Timbers, they'll hire another coach and they'll win. I mean, they'll be successful. So I don't think any of this is going to destroy any of the parties, but it's a shame that they couldn't keep it together because this was a good thing. And even people who don't like soccer like Caleb Porter.
He's very likable.
Yeah,
and seemed to love the city, and so the city loved him back.
Yeah, and I talked to an organization executive who told me that of the three men, none of them is ever wrong. And I thought that was an interesting quote. And I don't think he meant it like as a disparaging thing. It's just you've got three guys who are super demanding and think they have the answer, and they're in a small little franchise.
Not so
we
much
know who
then.
wins, though.
Yes.
Yeah, but not so much about the finish this year.
No, I don't think it was, because I think they all understand, look, it was a good season. We know what happened. This was a team that struggled with continuity and injuries all along. They lost some players in that playoff series. So I think everybody kind of expected that they would just build on this, make some personnel moves, and move on. But to the point, remember, they won the championship. They come to visit me after getting off that truck in the parade. In the elevator, they made a personnel move that day in December of 2015. They weren't celebrating. They were already thinking about 2016, 2017. That just shows you the personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, it could be tough then to attract maybe a new coach if they know this going in, that there's going to be this power struggle.
Well, I think the things that make the Timbers attractive is you've got an owner in Merritt Paulson who cares and wants to win, and fans love him for that. And you got a guy who will invest in the franchise, and you've got a fan base that is rabid. I mean, it's incredible. Look at that. But you also, I think the guy who comes in here to coach this team has to ask questions about the last two coaches, what went wrong. I can win a championship, and 2 years later, I want to be out of here.
So I'm like, boy, what have you done for me yesterday, right?
So I don't think fans are accepting that statement or the team's statement. I think there are going to be a lot of questions and more discussion.
Well, John, we thank you for rushing in here and giving us your point of view. Always important and good to hear.